watch it going right over. But anybody notice a lot of helicopters lately? Like for weeks now, many. Yesterday and today they're flying really low. Hi, little spider. Can you see Mr. Spider too? Frozen for a minute. Anyway, there he is. I was thinking that earlier too, like how spiders just. I was watching him and how their webs are so, you can't see their web, and then when they get nervous they ball up into such a tiny little ball within such a little amount of time, right? A millisecond. Just finding that interesting. Things we don't see that just happen to appear. And I keep getting a lot of videos of, like, I was thinking satellites, but as I keep recording them, they look like stars, but they're moving, right? So they look like a satellite. But then when you record them, it mimics a star. Later, spider. And we've been getting a lot of, and I've also, my sister and I together, I saw the other night, and I've seen them before, but the other night I saw a blink, like from way up there, like a flashlight. A blink, and then a pause, and then blink in the same spot. So last night, my sister and I saw Blink 182. We saw blink, and then it moved a little bit and changed color, and she saw it twice with my head turned, and then we saw it change. It went like across, and then kind of went at an angle, and then went forward. So it went like around, like it went on an angle. It went on a curve. Not flying like a, and then it went out. I can't really explain it, and I just woke up. So just a lot of, phenomenon. I always see a lot of phenomenon, and I do have a lot recorded. I just, out of respect, I kind of don't put it up, but when I get guided to, if I do, then I will. But just, keep your eyes on the skies and keep your head clear, right? Keep an open mind. Best you can, all these things, because, we're never gonna be perfect. But we do the best we can as we become a little more consciously aware and we recognize things, So we're in exciting times. All these birds and crickets and so, it's about, right? I'm waking up. I feel it in my soul. Yeah, waking up. So enjoy the ride, and look for things you don't normally see, because you don't want to be hunting and searching and seeking. Don't go cuckoo, but just kind of keep your eyes open and go with the flow, and you just might see something you haven't seen before, right? We're opening different eyes, awakening up with different eyes now. So I just woke up literally from, my rest overnight, from resting overnight. I don't even like to use the word sleep anymore, because that's like being unconscious, right? I like rest. I like to rest when I need to rest, so I can, right, restore and regenerate. I can't talk yet. Where's Mercury? Mercury's retrograde, right? I've been mumbling over my words for days now. Oh my lord. So yeah, right? Opening opening up different eyes. And when we close our physical eyes, you know, you could see with your first eye, some say third eye, as you start to activate that. But you have to be in a calm place, right? You have to be like, sometimes we get jolted into that, but it's like, be like water. So the more calm, and you breathe, right, to regulate, like Leo, a regulator, or Regulus, right? We have to regulate our body temperature. This is inner alchemy. So as we use our breath, right, the holy breath, that's life. When you get nervous or are feeling negative emotions, right, water and electricity, or fire, panic, remember, if you're able to close your eyes and breathe, but otherwise remember to breathe. And I've been doing a lot lately. I'm gonna, you know, just a nice little easy practice. Breathe in for 4 through your nose, and then hold for 11, and breathe out for 7. And as you do that, especially when you're in a calm place and you can close your eyes, right? But do that also to try to remain calm. If you can't calm your brain, right, and shut up the thoughts and the things or the feelings that are going on, right? Count to 4, breathe in, hold for 11, breathe out for 7. If you do that at least 3 times, and it might take you time because you might get impatient just doing that, right? Checking your patience. And even that word, right? When we have patience, right? If we don't, our bodies become sick, our mind becomes sick, our emotional bodies become sick. We become a patient in someone else's office, right? So patience is a virtue that we really want to regulate, incorporate, right? And a sin is just the opposite side of a virtue. So again, inner alchemy, it's like I got a left hand and a right hand, and I got to balance the two in between, right? I'm right smack dab in the middle of whatever's going on. It's like having those, right, a ball in each hand. A thought and a feeling. I kind of went sideways there, so talking about breath now. But, hey, it's all relevant. Right? Like I started off, what did I even start off videoing here? Oh, the helicopter. Yeah. And then we went to the spider. And then we were just looking at the sky. And then we were looking at the beautiful bush over here with all the flowers. Right? And the water. We got stone, earth, sky, right? Air. So ascension symptoms, or whatever you want to call them, awakening, like a butterfly, right? Going through I can't think of the word, is it transmutation? I just had like transgender, all the trans, right? So that's like another key too, because there's so many transitions going on, transmutations. Balancing, feminine and masculine energies on so many levels. So that's why is there so much confusion, right, in the world right now with all these things. So patience, and don't be judging, right? Try to not be judgmental, right? Judgmental. We're gonna have feelings that give us, maybe bring up some negative emotions and thoughts, or we're not sure why we're feeling or thinking certain ways, right? When we get introduced to something, or someone says something, or whatever, right? So take a look at that, because now we're becoming, again, right, the observer, right? Again, this is the stuff that we're looking for without looking, but we'll start to notice and recognize, right? So as we slow down, because that's where we have our power. Once we recognize where we go, right, or our train, choo-choo, goes off track, right? Our train of thought, our emotion, what sets us off, right? Set tries to set up Osiris, right? He does, right? He has him twice, right? So we don't want to get set up, right? Because your Christ consciousness, right? Your God, your inner God-like personality, your light, right, is starting to awaken. Your Christ consciousness, your inner child. And all of our inner childs are also harmed. So even though there's a lot of big adults that have big jobs and lots of money and have been living their life for a long time, and some don't even think, how much time have we had to rest and think about these things? And you don't want to dwell on them, but just allow them to surface, right? Just allow things, right? The ball is floating on top of the water. So we could see the ball on the surface. Underneath the water, we could see the surface of the water. How pretty. Right, underneath is where our feelings, right? The subconscious, right? Underneath it all. And we matter. All those things underneath, the water inside of us, the water outside of us, seen and unseen, like that spider's web. Sometimes things are there right in front of us, but we can't see them, right? Light travels so fast. So, right, it's like our naked physical eyes can't see a lot of the different rays of light and dimensions and what have you that are right in front of us, right? Nor would we want to. It'd be way too much. So that's why I take it slow, right? Like that. It looks like an eye floating around. And the beach ball. These are kind of good little symbols right now, right? Like one floats around, the other one you could pick up and bounce it around. Like the beach ball's nice and light, right? So think of your thoughts becoming more light, like you could bounce them around like the beach ball, you know? Bounce it back and forth, chew on it, digest things that, right, maybe make us feel uncomfortable. You don't have to spit it right out, right? Allow, right, food for thought, our thoughts to just pass on by, but allow them to surface. That's kind of, right, oxymoron, confusing. You got to do both at the same time. Allow and not allow, right? Allow, just allow, and at the same time, right, try to be consciously aware of what's floating by, right? Like thoughts will come and go, like that beach ball just floated out of the frame. Now it's, right? So things are in constant motion. So don't get too stuck on anything for too long, but also allow yourself to go through the thoughts and feelings of whatever is coming up from the under, right? Give yourself, because you owe yourself, because you are that valuable and you matter, the time and energy, right, to just be you, to allow the true you to come on up, right? And take care of that little you like you would anything else. Your job, your child, an animal, your garden, your house, right? Your body, you go shower every day, right? The outer, the physical. So this is what, right? The inner makes up the outer. Right? When you're in the womb, the insides of the organs, the insides grow first. our skin, right, is the largest organ that we now live in after we came out of our mother's water, the womb, right? But everything grows from the inside out, right? From the darkness, light is born. And then light casts a shadow. So it's important too, when we talk about darkness, there's original, right, primordial darkness that then creates the light. From the inside out. But then the light casts a shadow, and then things can be scary. So shadows are a different darkness, right, than the original darkness that created the light. And the original darkness wouldn't have as much consciousness. It's more like, right, that's birthing. So think about birthing as chaos. You can't control, right, when you have, if you're a physical woman and you're going into labor, you have to breathe and go with, right, just allow the labor pains to occur, breathe with them, and rest in between, right? You can't control contractions, right? They're kind of controlling you. They're happening. They're not controlling, right? It's something that's just happening. So it's chaos happening. We can't control it. We could just do our best, right, to go through it. Right, so this is where, like, too, it's like, right, there's a power greater than ourselves. Once we admit there's a power greater than ourselves, it takes a lot of the weight off, right? Because it's like, you're so powerful, you have God in you, but there's a power greater than ourselves. So once we tap into that, right, it's becoming humble, and at the same time tapping into the flow. And once you tap into the flow, then you know that we don't really know shit, right? It's just a different pool that we have now entered. So then we get to see with new eyes, right? So things become a little new, right? Anew. A lot of Anunnaki talk and stuff, right? Look up, a lot of people haven't heard of Anunnaki or the Nephilim, or, right, but Anunnaki, right, and Anu, and a lot of these words, right, Anuit, are birthing something anew, right, and Anu represents the bright blue sky, which, is it really blue? We say it's blue. We see that it's blue with our physical eyes. But is it actually blue? That's why with colors and things, when we call ourselves certain things, it's like, well, colors are frequencies. We call them names that, as we perceive them to be, right, what we see with our physical eyes. But the sky only looks blue due to the reflection of the sun, which is so bright right now. Sorry if I blinded you. Bouncing off of the waters of the earth and creating a blue sky. It's like the waters always look blue too. I mean, the bottom of the pool has a blue lining, but a lot of the time waters look, right, like the different color. Look how water looks like different color, but it's all clear, right? So just little things like that, something to think about, you know. We call things so quickly and easily and say that that's what it is. And it is, right? I mean, I'm not going to argue. The sky looks blue, right? But is it? It's like, what color am I? What color are we? So I can't even claim any color or anything like that. There's not, or right, once you start really getting cuckoo into all the, it's like, right, I'm not a girl or a boy. I mean, we are, but it's like, I'm not going to box myself into saying I'm a specific, right, person, place, or thing necessarily, because we're in so much transition and change. And then that's labeling ourselves and then boxing ourselves in. Again, right? Set wants to set up Osiris. So we take a look at all these things. We acknowledge, of course, like, right? Again, we acknowledge the sky is blue. I am a girl. I was born, right, a female. I'm now a woman. This is my, but do I call myself any of those things? No, not necessarily. And how I looked at myself or thought of myself, right, even just, right, I'll say yesterday, is not how I feel or think of myself today. So that's why I think a lot of people get very upset with all the new, the millennials and the star babies and what have you, having such a, with all of the, what's the word, he, she, they, etc., and what have you. A lot of that is, again, it's still, right, wake up, the ones, all of us and others that have been living life for so long on the earthly plane and working really hard in survival mode, right? It's like head down, with their heads down, so to speak, or just claiming, right? So busy doing what they've been doing that they, right, they forget to remember about our inner child. So it's like, remember the things that you love, because it doesn't matter. All those labels are things that we've become as we've been programmed, right, in our human daily lives. So programming meaning, right, do this, don't do that. That's acceptable, that's not, right? As we grow up, when we're little babies, we get told yes, no, right? What's acceptable, what's not. So, you know, it's like Crowley, do as thou wilt. Not just, oh, just fly. You don't just, right, there's meaning to all these sayings. But there's universal law, right? So do as thou wilt, because do what's true to you. The most important law is to thine own self be true. So this is where we're waking up into our really genuine self. And you don't want to not be or do that, right? I mean, it's like, this is an amazing time we're in, an opportunity. So don't allow, it's difficult to start to, you know, pull away from the mundane. And it doesn't mean that doesn't matter. What you've done in your human daily life doesn't matter. Everything you've done matters. Everything you are matters, especially up until this point, because that's, right, that's your earth homework, right? Earth is a school. What experiences have you gone through, and who are you who have you been? Who are you now? Right? Now take those breaths. And we don't have to think so hard about what we want to become. It's not like you're about, that it is kind of like we're about to graduate high school or college and go into another, right, plane of life, right? The workforce, or again, graduation, or the next class, or, right, whatever you're going to do next in life. Everything is kind of macro, micro, right, on the cosmic scale of what we've done our whole lives on the human scale. So again, we're kind of going a little out of body to observe self within body, to see where we've been, where we're at now, and then see what position you are, right? Like, is this where you want to be heading? Or do you just need to, like, right? It might be very overwhelming right now. We don't have, like, a clue where we're heading. That's why it's like going with the flow. Just know, if you're here, you came to exactly the right place, because energy never lies. People do. And we only, you know, basic little lies is because we feel uncomfortable about something. We don't feel like we're going to be accepted. We feel like someone is going to judge us, or we're so busy judging ourselves, right? Think of all the negative thoughts and feelings that you tell yourself, right? If you decide that you want to make a change in your life, then what comes up? So that's what we call, right, either parasitic demons or, right, parasites, demons, the little things that are like, you can't do that. You're never going to be able to do anything else. They won't allow you to. And then other people will actually say things like that too, because that's their little, right? It's the worry words, right? And we all have them. The little things that come up, right, from under the surface, right? And are mixing with our waters, mingling and making us feel, right, different kinds of ways, right? Emotion, energy, and motion. So energy never lies, people do. And we couldn't possibly explain all the things that we're going through inside verbally, right? We can talk about some of them, but it's like there's so much going on at once, right? Things aren't linear. When I'm speaking right now, I'm speaking in linear terms, right? I'm speaking in the language that I grew up, right, in English, but those words are spelled and formed into linear sentences, right? What's a sentence? What's a spell? What's a word, right? Word is born, right? God is the Word, and the Word was with God. So the words we use or think or say have a huge impact on all of us, right? Every day. Well, rhyming time, right? So one word or one line or a bunch of lines of sentences cannot possibly make up all the things that are going on underneath the surface. We just do our best to, right, try to communicate to one another. And most of the time, does anybody even care or is listening anyhow? Like when you're like, right, having conversations like out in the world. Yeah. We yes each other to death or patronize each other. It's like, that shit is so, right? Authenticity is what's in. Want to be proactive? Be authentic to yourself in your own skin. Right? Don't patronize someone else, or, you know, and it doesn't mean just be like, oh, fuck everybody then, you know, I'm gonna be who I'm gonna be, and then, you know, because then that's egotistical, right? But no, it's like we have respect. I respect you, I have respect for me, and then we'll try to find, right, we have a common ground. There's common, right, relativity. There's always common relativity. So there's, you know, it's finding that spot. Or you could really totally dislike a person, place, or thing, but it's like that, and that's okay too. It's like, you know what, I just really do, it's just, right, it's like oil and a match, or, right? So, because, right, some of our elements aren't going to mix with other people's elements, what they're made of. So, and that's okay. But doesn't mean that I have to, like, right, it's like I can respect you and, like, where you're at, who you are, and what you're made of. I don't have to, right, it's like, it's not like, oh, it doesn't have to be personal. See, right? And again, things are always in constant, the only constant is change. So, never say never. Because when it's like, yeah, for me, I know anytime I'll never do that. I would never. Then all of a sudden I get presented with whatever I said I would never do. It's like, oh, the universe is like, oh, wait, what? You wanted what? They thought we just made an order. It's like, that's not what I ordered. Oh, yes, you did. Because the universe isn't going to hear the negative words. It's like punching what you're looking for into a space bar on Google. Right? If you punch in, I hope I never find beach balls, what's it going to pop up? A whole shit ton of beach balls. Right? It's not going to not pop up beach balls. Right? So how the internet, right? Internet works, and how our brains work, right? As a receiver. And how our mind and body, and how manifestation works. Is like the internet, and right, with the universe. And the universe, una, is different than multiverse, right? One verse is different than many, right? If a song only has the same one line over and over and over and over, you know, We like a variety, right? Of verses, multiverse, right? A wave isn't linear, but we need lines too. Lines are important. If we didn't have straight lines, I mean, if this was all like the water, then right? So the deck is built with wood and, right, hands and nails so I can stand upon it. And that's important to be right? That needs to be, right? Like masons, right? The things need to be like measured and, right? Like there's certain things that are linear. So it's not unnecessary. Again, everything is about both. Not one or the other, this or that, this is right, that's wrong. They're both good, right? Because we need both. So that's more or less, right? It's like the yin and yang, which also are two colors that aren't colors, right? Black and white. It's more like a push and a pull, right? There's a positive and a negative. And we can get pushed and pulled in between both directions, right? So anyhow, I totally didn't even expect to make a video, but I'm happy I did, and I hope you all have an amazing, awesome, it's Friday. Happy Friday, presently, and have a beautiful day, whatever day or time it may be for you at this present now moment. And I so appreciate you coming to hang out with me. And yeah, life's been, I've just been riding the roller coaster. So, and not even a roller coaster. It's been so pleasant and beautiful, really. I'm super grateful. I'm super grateful to be here. I'm super grateful to be a part of all of this. Right? Like, we were born for this. This is what we came here for. And if you aren't sure what you came here for, you're still in the right place, right? It's about finding your purpose, you know, which is so deeply rooted within you. You can't go wrong. So on that note, yeah, and be sure to definitely, I've been working on the website. I've been working on the railroad. I've been playing around. It's there, but it's not up. So, but I'll let you know when I have it up. So much to do. It just hasn't been the right time, honestly. But when the time is right, you'll know. And yeah, do your best to stay in the flow. And remember about that breath work, right? Breathe in for 4 counts. Hold for 11. Breathe out for 7. Do that at least, now I say 3 times, but like if I do a set in the gym, we do 4 sets. Or we do 12 reps. A lot of time I'll do that happy 13, right? I do that 1 extra to make it, right, like a baker's dozen. Or I do 15. Because it's like, I'm not going to just stop at 15. I mean at 12. I'm going to push myself a little bit further. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I can't even get past, right? Like 3rd set, I can't get past 8. I'm like struggling. So, right, do as thou will. Do what you can when you can, and challenge yourself and have fun. Remember to have fun, because humor is one of the best medicines that we have, always available. All right, one love, y'all. Metaphysical Mama, I'm out. Please like, subscribe, hit the bell if you're on YouTube or any other social media platform as well. All right, later.